Ba-do-ba-do. Welcome to the Gypsopotamus. Welcome to the Gypsopotamus. Welcome to the Gypsopotamus. Welcome to Experience.
And I'll see if this works.
All right, well, we're
It's just
recording
like a
from
good
my end
test.
too. We'll see how it goes for sure. Do a little mood lighting here. There we go. You already got the mood lighting, bro.
I'm not doing anything special. It's just kind of is it too dark?
There we go. Oh, I don't know. You could probably lighten up a little bit, dude. You could definitely use one of the things I got.
What'd you
Very
get?
nice little thing. I think I showed you. I got like a little flat.
See, I kind
like-
of don't want my whole room just like lit up though. That's the whole. I'm trying not to be too showy.
I literally got like a little. Whoops.
Oh, like a luminary, different, like it lights up your screen, so that.
So that's on a tripod, just hung over my.
Oh no, it's like a separate light.
Yeah,
Huh. Interesting. Battery powered.
yeah. And it's just plugged in at the moment.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's pretty legit. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing swell.
Yeah. Very good.
The dog is adjusting. I went skateboarding with her today. She was like really nervous in the morning, and she wanted to just like check out all the other dogs, and I couldn't get her to calm down. And she goes through this like fight or flight response,
Mm-hmm.
and it's mostly just flight. Like she just wants to run. You take her out on the leash, and she just yanks you. So I figured I'm gonna put her on the harness, and even though like I'm trying to teach her not to pull because like she's so anxious, I just want her to get out all of her energy. So I actually
Yeah.
hopped on the penny board and let her just pull me. And I was just like, and I didn't like, I also pushed, you know, she wasn't only pulling me, but we went so far. Like we must have gone like close to a couple miles. Literally just her
Running
her
alongside
pulling
you.
me like down the, yeah, we went like through the neighborhood, down the bike path, and she wasn't like that tired. When we got home, she drank a lot of water and she passed out for like 5 minutes and then got right back up and was like ready to go again. It's
Wow.
crazy.
Interesting. That's cool, man. How does it feel to have a dog?
Good. She's awesome.
How long have you had her for now?
A month,
Nice.
about a month. It's I mean, it takes like a big chunk out of your like mental capacity, like just attention span and all that. But it's like she's cool.
Hell yeah,
Like
dude.
it's keeping me happy.
Right. It's exciting, man. It's a cool thing, like, now that she's a thing. It's cool, like, you know, it's a cool concept. Like I would like a dog soon.
She's gonna be pissed at me when I start working on the backyard and I have to lay down dirt and fertilizer because then she won't be able to use it. It kind of sucks. She won't be able to use like the yard for a whole summer, pretty much.
Ah, man. Yeah, that is rough. Why are
But
you,
next year will be cool.
yeah, are you, is that like a annual thing you have to do?
No, we just have a lot of areas that need to be filled in and leveled out.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't do the landscaping last year, and so it needs to be done. I just need to overhaul the lawn itself. I'm not looking to like get too decorative with it, or we just need to like, yeah. Like I might as well do the work now because right now it's like just super muddy. She went out in the backyard this morning, and I think that'll probably be the last time I let her in the backyard until like it's the summer and dry.
Yeah.
Because she comes in just wet and muddy, and it's not fun.
Right. Especially
I mean,
now
sure,
that
it's fun for her.
right. Especially now that it's wet outside.
Yeah, she's a good little pup.
She didn't experience any of the snow, did she?
Oh yeah, she did. Yeah, it was our yard had like at least a couple feet of snow, and
Uh-huh.
it doesn't phase her. She goes in and out of the snow. She jumps everywhere. She loves the snow.
Nice.
And actually, it was nice that the snow was high enough where we didn't have to worry about her getting out of the yard. After the snow melted, she immediately was like, "Oh my gosh, I can dig under the fence."
Oh
And so now we
Jesus.
gotta like board up, and that's another reason why we need to get dirt and like do the, some landscaping because there's just like big holes underneath the fence we gotta fill.
Ah, so you're like straight regrading.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Are you guys gonna get a dog?
Yeah, man.
Some point?
I think probably in the next few months. That's what I'm
Oh,
thinking.
nice. Do you have a company you're like looking out through? Like, do you have
No,
sources that you're perusing?
not yet. I know the missus is like kind of looking around here and there and like showing me pups and stuff. I know, like, I mean, there's so many like different routes we could go.
Yeah. Shout out to Tiny and Tall. That's the SKU that we got Kona from.
Yeah, nice. Hell yeah.
So it's
She
like
ever?
tiny dogs and tall dogs, like big dogs and small dogs, nothing in between.
That's funny. No medium dogs.
I mean, except Kona is kind of like in between. So I don't know. Like
I don't know.
20 pounds.
I feel like when you got her, she was like pretty small looking, at least maybe in the photos. But like she looks a little larger now. Maybe
That's
she
what everyone's been saying.
maybe it's just because we're comparing her now to your like assets at your house that you're like having in the pictures,
Oh yeah. Well, and
like
we've
your
been feeding
couch
her
or
like she's
whatever.
yeah, and we've been feeding her so she's probably gained like a pound. At least she like feels that way. She doesn't feel as skinny,
Mm-hmm.
but I think she's full grown. I mean, she's over a year old, so
Nice. Yeah, I mean that's not.
I'm really happy with her size. She's like just small enough to be in your lap, but big enough to be really fast outside.
Yeah, is that what you wanted? A really fast dog and
It's
also a
not
lap
something I
dog?
sought after, but watching her when she plays with other dogs and she's running circles around them. Like I literally want to do agility training maybe. Take her to
Oh
like the
wow,
dog park and where there's one near us that has a whole course. So I bet she could fly.
nice. Hell yeah. No, well, I mean, she's looks like she's got the puppy energy for it.
Yeah, you need to have a fire in your backyard and I'll bring her over.
Okay.
We just put her on like the stake, we staked her in the yard with a huge tether.
Mm-hmm.
So she took to it just fine. And also, I'm sure in your neighborhoods there's a lot less distractions. That's what's kind of difficult right now because there's too many dogs in her neighborhood.
Yeah.
She's getting like a little anxious.
Hey, my neighbor has a dog, so I don't know. Like maybe like right away, if they hear the dog, maybe they'll be like, "Holy shit, there's another dog here."
Mm, they'll probably want to meet each other.
I mean, like literally, well, at one point, all three of my neighbors, actually maybe even four of my neighbors, like directly adjacent, have had dogs. I
Mm.
think one of them passed away because it was like really really old, and like one of the days we saw them carrying it out of the house
Oh, really?
and like into their car, and I was like, we never seen the dog after that.
In like a little doggy casket?
No, like in their
What do you
arms,
mean?
like it was just like struggling.
Oh, what? Oh, it
Yeah,
hadn't
like
gone
we
yet at that
like
point. Oh,
previously,
yeah, that sucks.
because
I'm so
prior to
thankful
that,
I've
we
never had to put a dog down. Not yet.
yeah. I mean that's my guess because honestly, we always saw the dog like out in the front yard and stuff, like doing its business, and then yeah, one day they
My
like carried it
childhood
out,
dog is
never
still,
saw it again.
wow. My childhood dog is still kicking it. She's getting up there. I think she's 15. I think she turned 15 last year. So,
Wow,
it's getting there.
that's crazy, man. And that's you mean the dog you grew up with?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's Shih Tzu, and Shih Tzus normally like they last pretty long.
nice. That's good for being so small. That's good, man.
Yeah, I
Shih
guess
Tzus are
so.
fucking tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, like I don't know, it's such like a big decision, like the kind of dog you get and stuff. Because I mean, I'd
Yeah,
like to get a mix enough where it's like not gonna be super susceptible to like crazy bullshit throughout its life and have to like have hardships and whatever. That's like
right.
that's the worst,
Designer
man.
dogs and
Yeah,
puppy mill dogs are and usually end up having like big health problems.
yeah. That just sounds like super. I mean, not only depressing to like have to deal with, but also just like,
Expensive.
yeah, exactly. Like I feel like I don't want to be heartbroken. Like, I also don't want it to like have hardships and like see us struggling.
Yeah, I think another big thing is just personality too. Personality and not energy, but like need for physical activity. If
Hmm.
if it doesn't match your lifestyle, there are quiet dogs for quiet people,
Oh,
and
definitely.
it Kona's actually getting us to like go outside and run around more. So she's kind of encouraging in that way, and that's good. We have to get up and keep moving.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But
I
it also means the drawback is that we can't like leave her alone for too long because she always needs to go out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you also got her just like a month ago, so you're kind of still getting accustomed to everything. There was a story I heard that it was like, I don't know, just like an anecdotal story where like a dude got his kids got him a lab for his birthday or something just to like get him out and about because they like moved out of the house and whatever. So he's just like home alone or whatnot. So A, it didn't get him out of the house, and like B, the dog just like
Oh, that's sad.
accustomed to his lifestyle and just like got lazy and got fat.
That's really sad. I don't think dogs make good pets. Not pets. They don't make good gifts. Um,
Yeah, I could see that.
like you gotta pick out your own dog. It's gotta
Right.
have like you gotta have some connection to it prior to it becoming yours.
Oh yeah. Not to mention one of our friends got gifted a dog by by their mom.
Are you talking about Toast?
Yeah.
Oh, Toast.
That's such
Yeah,
a
I
sad
saw
story.
Toast once. So Toast is living with him still.
Yeah, yeah, with our friend, yeah. Well,
I
not all the
I don't
time.
know if I could watch
I
someone
think last time I found,
else.
I mean, last time I heard, Toast was living with the mom, not like the son that got gifted him.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, so I was just like, I mean, that was basically, I think our friend, like, his mom bought Toast for herself, really, but then, like, just like, oh, like, he's also your gift, aka, I don't know, like, I don't really get why that was a thing. But I think she's
Um,
just waiting for her dog to kind of, I mean,
that's
her
another thing.
dog's
Maybe
kind of
the
on her
dogs don't get
last
along
limb.
well with each other.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Wasn't it like Casey Neistat had a dog that they had to give up because it wasn't behaving well with their baby when their daughter was born. Like they had a
That
dog, but
sounds familiar,
yeah,
but honestly, I don't follow Casey Neistat as close as you do. I feel like you would know the statistics of that a little better.
it's not a statistic, just something that you said a long time ago.
Got it. But that does sound about right. I think I did hear that.
You got yeah, dogs are kind of a gamble, and you also
Right.
got to educate yourself on how to raise a domesticated being like that.
Right.
It's crazy, like the things we get them to do, and the ethics of it all. Like the more you train a dog, the less, or I should say, the more you train a dog, the more personality of the dog you not necessarily like take away, but like I guess you could train out a dog's personality, like its natural personality, and that's kind of weird to think.
I mean, it's just part of training a dog. You just kind of comb it to like what you want it to do. I mean, it's just like a
Yeah,
kid, If it has like bad habits, you want to like take those out of its,
right. But
repertoire.
for animals, there aren't really bad habits, right? It's just like humans have deemed those habits as bad, but in the animal kingdom, You know, like whatever is natural, natural is, you know, that's whatever it's
I guess. I mean, like, what if your dog? I mean, what if this said dog just like shits on anyone and
like
anything
wolf.
it
Oh, think of like a
sees?
natural in the wild wolf.
Right.
What actions would a wolf do, but that a dog does, and it's like really bad.
I mean, wolves are dogs when you go to the genetics of it.
Yeah, but if a wolf shit on your neighbor's porch, it wouldn't be seen as bad as like if you let your dog shit on your neighbor's porch, you know? I don't think your neighbor would care nearly as much if he saw a wolf shit as
Well,
opposed to
unless it was your wolf and you taught it to shit on things.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my god.
I don't think it's yeah, it wouldn't be your wolf. I don't think
I
wolves
mean,
are
you don't know.
domesticated.
There's definitely people who own wolves, just like there are people
Yeah,
who own tigers. Like,
I think they're like descendants of those wolves. They're not like they didn't take a wolf from the wild and then domesticate it. They like raised wolves from captivity.
oh yeah, I mean, I'm there's definitely a long lineage that like got dogs to where they're at today.
Hmm.
But I guarantee you that there's still people in the world that do that shit and like do take wolves out of the wild still and like train
Yeah.
them and like have like the wolf like have the wolves breed and then like take those wolves straight into captivity and then like train basically the wild out of them to an extent, to a
Wow.
extent. I mean that's how anything is domesticated. I was
Yeah.
reading I was actually reading a thing about foxes and how they took basically they did the same thing with foxes and like within 2 breeding cycles their ears already started like being a little more floppy and like rounded
Oh
out
wow.
instead of like really pointy and like they were like very just a lot more like docile and stuff to like being like trained and you know what I mean instead of like relying on natural instinct type of stuff.
Mhm.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's there's definitely a lot that can, evolution's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy
There's
erratic.
Yeah, speaking of which, there's like wild animals and domesticating them. There's this dude that I saw somewhere along the way. He was on like Instagram. He had like a fucking pet badger, and what the hell was? What else was it? It was a badger and I think a coyote he had, and they were like legit playing together. Yeah, it was those two animals for sure. But like
Wow.
it was ridiculous. I'm sure you could look it up. But yeah, it was.
Badgers are weird. They're like skunks almost. It's like a skunk and a possum
Dude, yeah,
and
badgers are
uh
fucking vicious.
and a lemur.
A lemur.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
got
you're
like a
just like
longer
saying
neck.
animals at this point.
No, those three animals put together makes a badger.
A
Cause look at it,
lemur, a skunk,
and a possum.
and a
It's got
possum.
the it's got the face
It's
of a
got
possum,
giant fucking
the
claws
body
too.
of a skunk. It's more like a raccoon than a skunk. The colors of a skunk and the neck of a lemur, because it's got like a longer neck.
Interesting. I don't know. Maybe it's got the neck of a sloth.
That's pretty wild. I mean, yeah, it could, I guess.
Sloths have pretty long necks.
Kona is a part Chihuahua and part Terrier, and I never thought those two animals could like come together so perfectly.
I'll be honest, she looks a little Jack Russell to me, but
Yeah,
that I don't know.
it's pretty. The Chihuahua part is pretty much just her head, not even her neck. Like her neck is full sized, but her head is small and her ears are big.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's awesome though, man. Speaking of which, there she is now.
Does she want to say hi?
She's like, "Fuck you,"
It's really wet outside. She's got to be wiped off first.
right? It's a pretty sweet sweater, bro. Where'd you get it?
Thanks. I got this for my birthday. It's Try Guys hoodie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Oh, not for my birthday, for Christmas.
Very
Shout
cool.
out to the wife.
Shout out to the wife. Hell yeah. Do wives get you nice shit, man? They get nice shit for their guys every once in a while.
Yeah, sometimes. Hey, Kona. Kona, come here. Right. Oh yeah, she's still wet.
See
She's still
this-
like super wet.
See this bad girl.
Say hi.
Hi, Kona. She's
She's
like,
gonna get me
the
all wet.
hell is going on? She like matches your sweater. All I
Yeah.
see is just like,
Here, can you take her?
all I see is just like darkness.
Right. She's very black. We're I'm gonna get canceled for this, but we're an interracial family.
Oh wow. You're gonna get canceled for this.
I mean, you can't tell me I'm wrong. Black dog. There are black dogs. There are white dogs. There are brown dogs. There's
There
you
are
know,
gray dogs.
Yeah, there's golden dogs. There are dogs of every size, shape, color.
You're right.
Yeah.
There's people that abuse their dogs enough where
And-
they paint them like pink or some shit. Like
that's
they dye them pink,
it's a little too much.
like pink poodles
I
and whatever.
embrace all the natural shapes, sizes, and colors.
Very good.
I can't speak for the people who like spray paint their dogs. That's even
Yeah,
like
it's a little
natural,
immoral.
natural coloring. It's like
Right.
it's kind of against their consent.
Right. Yeah, like
Maybe a dog comes up to you and like you give them different shades, and they're just like that one.
right. It's like, yeah, it just high fives one of them.
I saw this one video, and this person, they had all these buttons on the floor, and each button had a word, and the dog was like putting together sentences by like tapping the buttons.
That's some bullshit.
And I'm just like, you clearly trained them to tap these buttons in the right order.
Right, right. First off, they're colorblind. Second of all, they're illiterate. And
Yeah, no dog is that. I mean, I'm
were
sure.
they colorful buttons? That's my next thought.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I mean,
don't
either way,
think
they're
so.
colorblind.
It's just a huge map of buttons. Yeah.
What were they different shaped buttons?
No.
Oh, okay. Shoot. Yeah, that's probably
There's
some BS
there's
then.
there's tons of animals that are smarter than dogs too.
Oh, of course. There's
She came back. She's over here. She's coming back to me. Are you dry now?
probably because you keep saying her name.
Yeah, probably.
You just keep saying that she's black, and she's
She's
like,
part of
hey,
the podcast now.
yeah,
She wants to represent. I'll be your advocate.
hell yeah.
So what else is good?
Nothing, man. As I said, back to the whole wives getting nice shit for us. Fucking
Yes.
my lady found a badass deal on this sweet desk that I just got that I upgraded to.
Dude, yeah. I think like the secondary market is underrated. People need to like go out and buy all the secondhand stuff
Right.
because you found a gem.
Oh, for sure, dude. Like if I didn't find it, right. Well, yeah, if she didn't find it, someone else would have like literally torn it off the market, like refinished it and like sold it for like 3 times what they bought it for.
Hmm.
But yeah, like luckily it's actually going to use. But yeah, like otherwise I was gonna go the route that you were, like and fucking draw plans for a desk, build a desk, like plan it all out. I mean, I still have like plans to like modify this bad boy, but still.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd be up for the challenge. And it's probably going to come out horribly, but I want something that just, it's not that I want to build it myself. I just want it to be what I want it to be. Like
Right.
it has all the features that I want. And sometimes if you can't find it online, you got to do it yourself.
Exactly. I mean, like
I'm a little afraid that it's not going to come out how I want it to, but I'll
are you
get there.
saying like the quality you want?
The craftsmanship that I want.
Got it. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
because either way, you're gonna still build it no matter what to like the specs that you want it to be, like the utility to be for.
Yeah, if I can find the right materials, then I'll take my time and be able to get it like close. I'm hoping I can get it close to what the idea in my head, but we'll see.
Definitely. I mean, I saw your plans. They look pretty good so far from what I saw last time.
Yeah, I just need something bigger and stronger and be like this. I think this is an IKEA desk that I'm at right now, and it fit me well, but it's so shitty in a variety of ways. Remember how I did that video of like the microwave madness where I just rant about how shitty microwave was at our last place? I
Right.
could do that about this desk.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you should just before you chuck it, or you like use it as firewood.
See, that's the thing is it's made out of this like manufactured like
Like particle board shit.
yeah that's painted. I couldn't even.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly
might
just
pawn,
tossed
I was
mine.
just talking about the secondary market. I should pawn it off on someone. Yeah, I'll give it them for
You
free.
can.
I got this from Goodwill for like $15. Someone can have it for free.
Yeah. Yeah, mine was honestly pretty much the same type of shit. I got it for like $30 or like 25, like I don't know, 7, 8 years ago. And yeah, no, that was like, I mean, it was worth my use out of it. I literally used it for that long, and it just started falling apart. And yeah, I like kept the main base of it just so I can like rip a shelf with like a circular saw, just like take a section off of it, make a shelf out of it. But other than that, like main big piece, I just tossed the rest because yeah, I don't really care to burn it or anything either. Who the fuck knows what kind of weird chemicals are in it?
Wow.
I mean, it's so cheaply made, you know? It was just
Yeah.
like breaking apart, like just being pushed around a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the thing with woodworking is if you don't have a joiner and a planer, then the wood can get expensive really fast because you have to buy milled lumber, wood that's
Right.
already milled.
Right. Yeah, that's actually something I ended up doing.
Which is it's cheap when you do like softwoods like pine. But if you get like I think I'm leaning towards red oak.
Yeah, dude,
And
that
I may
shit's
do
expensive.
Yeah, it's
Especially
gonna
when
be
it's
like
like higher
$100
quality.
just for the top.
Yeah, I could see that. Um,
Which also means I can't fuck it up when I put it together.
yeah. There's a chance I might be getting more wood. I just got some wood for some stuff from someone I knew. No, they're moving down to like DC or something. They had a wood shop and they literally just donated a bunch of wood to me. So
That's awesome. And you have the space to store it, so that's really cool.
yeah, I mean, I mean, I have like too many things to make right now. I don't know if I
Yeah, it's
already
better to
showed
start
you.
small.
Yeah,
Start off with,
right.
I'm
Yeah.
that way too. I have all these different projects, and actually what I've come to realize is that I need to order the projects in order of skills because every project will provide me with the skill to do it a little bit better on the next project. And
Yeah,
so
I
it's
hear
like
that.
in order of size, like I started off with like a plaque with hooks on it, and through that I learned like staining, keyholes, um, routing because I routed the edges of it,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some bigger projects I'm thinking of that they'll use those skills. Um,
Hell yeah.
yeah,
That's good
it's
shit, man.
it's a fun little hobby.
Right. Oh, no, definitely. Well, as long as you have like a place to do that shit, and what's really nice is you already have a workbench that your pops made, for you.
Yeah,
I still actually need to make my own workbench. That's
yeah.
the next fucking project. Actually,
It's a very solid workbench. There's things I would build if I was building it myself,
mm-hmm.
but it's gonna last me a long time, and I can always make something else in the future. But I think, yeah, I'm thankful for it for now.
Definitely. I mean, it's like very simple and like yeah, as you say, you could do a lot with it already. Um,
I
yeah.
just built a miter saw station, so I can hang a miter saw off the edge and use the whole surface as like an outfeed for it.
Oh shit, nice man. Good shit. Yeah, I just got a also donated a miter saw, but like a hand saw. So it's like
Oh
a
yeah, yeah.
miter. It's
So
like
it's
a
like a miter
manual.
box,
Yeah,
and
it's
and
a
this,
manual
yeah,
miter one.
that's cool.
But it's like it has like little hooks. It's basically like the saw itself, like a jigsaw essentially. Not a jigsaw. What am I thinking of? A hacksaw. It looks
Yeah,
like,
okay.
and it has like little like loops where it like holds on to like different like angles. Basically, you can like spin at different angles and it locks on, and you just like saw
Oh,
at that
okay.
angle,
It's a nice
and it
little one
has
then.
like a little small feeding tray where you can like put the
Okay,
wood through.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
lately I've
interesting.
been like falling into deep rabbit holes of woodworking videos.
Dude, actually, same. I'm literally this close to buying a hand planer.
Uh,
I need to, man.
yeah, hand planers are expensive. They're nice. I wish I
Depending on the
had
kinds
one.
you want or
I mean, that's a
you want
tool
to
that you
get.
want to get a good one of.
Yeah,
I actually just bought chisels the other day,
nice. Those are
and
worth it.
they're very difficult to use. Like, um, it's along the same lines of like it's not difficult to use, but difficult to be really good at.
Yeah, there's definitely a learning curve. I mean,
And
especially if you're
but
not coordinated. But I
yeah,
think you're pretty coordinated enough to do
hand
that.
planers are nice. I want one as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, like Harbor Freight has like starting ones at like 18 bucks.
Yeah, I'm sure
And
those
like
are
it
nice.
depends on what kind you need.
And
And
how much you're
like
willing to sharpen it.
you're right. Well, there's also like different. I was looking at like the different styles of them and stuff, and like what they're used for. And yeah, there's like certain styles that you really don't need to get that are very expensive. Like a typical one is around 20 bucks, but they obviously do range like quite a bit depending on what you're utilizing them for.
Okay. You know, while we're on the subject of cool tools, you know what else I want?
What's
Is
that?
a Japanese pole saw. Have you seen
Is
what those
that,
are?
yeah, it's just like a big ass rectangle of steel and then you just like, it's super flat.
It's flat and flexible, so you
Yeah.
can like press it to the wood and cut off things flush.
Yeah, dude, I've seen that shit. Dude,
They're
those
so cool.
sound expensive as fuck, but they
That
sound sick.
they're actually not that much.
Really?
Kind of like the hand planes, like you can get different varying levels of you know, how nice they are,
Right.
but it's mostly like the handle. So you could get like a composite like plastic handle,
Oh shit. Well, maybe I
one
could
for
just
like
make a
30
handle.
bucks, or you can get a nice one for like 60 bucks.
Yeah. Well, maybe I can just make a handle because I got a little mini lathe.
Ah, that's true. That's right. Yeah. There's this one YouTuber who's really cool, Woby, Woby, Woby
Oh
Designs.
yeah, you were showing me him.
All of his projects are made out of recycled skateboards, and it's kind of cool because so I've seen him. He started out in this, and I think he's still in this 20-foot shipping container,
Oh, his
and
wood
like
shop.
that's, yeah, so like
Yeah.
all of his wood shop, all of his shop is like in the shot, and you can see like gradually each of his tools are not tool, each of like the things he uses and the jigs and like anything that you would normally make out of wood, he's now like turning into recycled skateboards. So he does have a whole bunch of wooden tool, like hand tools, that he's taken off of the original handle and like made his own handle on
Nice.
his lathe.
That's funny. So
And
he's
it's cool
just
to
got all
see.
these like
It's like really
rainbow colored
colorful.
woods.
Yeah.
That's cool. I wonder if that's like more because it's considering it's like a ply, it's a multiple ply of different woods almost. I wonder if it's like more strong or less strong. You know what I mean?
It's strong when you put when you reverse the grains, like if you do different layers, he's had a couple projects where like he accidentally puts all the grains the same way, and when he does the resin, that's another thing is to keep something together. A lot of times you fill all the voids with resin, especially with plywood because they're like they're voids. The better you do the resin, then the stronger it is. If you
That makes
just
sense.
like if you don't do every layer, and you, let's say you put all these layers together and then you put resin around it, it's gonna come apart at some point.
Right.
But if you like,
You have to like sandwich it.
yeah, just like with glue, like if you don't roll glue out and you just kind of squirt it in.
Right, right. Yeah, that's actually something I've seen that like surprisingly and not a lot of like how-to videos do that I've seen that like is like a must is like basically just like once you squirt out like the wood on like a piece of wood, you like have to like press it along, like
Yeah, I
like
always do
flatten
that.
it and like spread it out evenly. Instead of just like literally just like and then just like stick stuff together and like let
They even
the
make
pressure do it.
they make these like special rollers too. They'll just
Oh, I
like
bet.
roll the glue on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man, those people inspire the shit out of me. Yeah,
Hmm.
dude, that Wobie guy is fucking crazy. He's got so many cool videos about that shit and like jigs he makes and all that crap.
Woodworking is one of those fields where YouTube is really inspiring, but Reddit is like demotivating. Because only like the best projects make it to Reddit. So you see all this really cool shit, and this guy is like, I got fired from my job, so I immediately got into woodworking, and now I do that full time. And here's this project I did after 6 months, and it's just like this entire room that's like built out with bookcases, and it's all like nice red
Right.
oak and like all this crazy
That's
stuff. He's like, yeah,
hilarious.
just, I do this full time now, and it's like, well, some of us have day jobs, and
But what
woodworking you
he's
kind
trying
of
to tell
have to
you,
like commit the time to.
right. No, totally. And you also have to have like a lot of drive behind you for shit like that.
And there's a lot of experimenting. There's a lot of like, I don't know if this will work, and
Mhm.
there's tutorials for a lot of stuff, but it's like they can teach you how to use the tools, but it's a very creative type. I really like the ring box you made. I thought I was pretty impressed with that.
Shit.
And you made that with like no tools really. Nothing like too crazy.
Right. Yeah, no, it was not
Like you
crazy
didn't
at
have a
all.
miter saw or a table saw.
No, no, it was like pretty standard shit. Here, 1 second. Dude, like one of my buddies was just like just started getting into woodworking because I guess his dad like just built out like a small wood shop in his own garage,
Hmm.
and he's like doing like dove cuts and shit like that, dovetails, and he's just like, yeah, dude, like. If you want to like make a little like wood box or something, you're gonna have to like do like a few practice ones first. And I was like, dude, I ain't got time for that shit. Like it was literally like a month before I needed to like propose, and I needed to make a wood box like quick. Like
Yeah.
I had designed it. I like did what I had to do. I bought the wood for it. It was literally just like a one shot or nothing, man. And
Right.
it was like it was
Wow.
expensive wood that I got too from like a really nice like wood shop that's like more recently closed, unfortunately.
Uh,
But yeah, it was like I got like some like semi-gloss type of like coating for like to be like waterproof and shit. But yeah, like literally everything was like the first shot through, and somehow it came
wow.
together, dude.
Yeah, it came out great.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's all about taking your time to be precise, really, and just not rushing it.
Yeah, I have a harder time doing the design and figuring out once I have a plan, I'm pretty good at executing the plan
Mm-hmm.
and working around limitations with tools or whatever.
Yeah,
Um, but for me, it's like which design elements work well together,
right.
and what's functional versus what's going to look good. That's another thing. I typically come up with like really ugly things that work really well, and then I have to like as I'm building them, I'm like, oh, maybe I could do it this way to make it look a little better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something honestly that like all the art classes that I've taken have paid off, where it's like you have like different, you literally just like take a piece of paper, let's say, and you just like draw out like just different like little boxes, and like just like different versions of like, this was basically the approach I took, just like drew like different faces of like what it could be and what it could look like, and I just like chose different elements of certain ones, and I just like brought them together to like form something new usually.
Cool.
Or just like, I mean, at the end I could have just done something super basic, but yeah, like it definitely takes practice even in like the preliminary stages of design.
Yep.
But yeah, you're right. I didn't have like any like good tools to work with. Like one of my friends was like, "Oh, like I have one of my brother's like routers here, like hand routers. Do you want me to like help you out with that?" And I literally like wood clamped a bunch of pieces of wood together and just like routed all around it and like unclamped, reclamped to like get the
You did that for
exact
each
edges.
side?
Yeah, dude, I didn't even like glue everything together yet.
Wow.
And it was
Yeah.
like the lid and the main box, and like I literally clamped and reclamped like all these like intricate wood pieces to like together, and like
Yeah.
somehow it came out like
I think that's the fun part is clamping.
crazy.
Clamping's pretty fun. My least favorite thing is just using the circular saw for like
Mhm.
anything. I just recently experimented with French cleats. Like I used one for the
dude.
miter saw station, and they're
Yeah.
like they're not hard to do, but it doesn't, it's not as satisfying. I think
Yeah.
using a circular saw and doing once I have a table saw, I always say this, like once I have the next tool, then that gets rid of all the frustrations I have from having to do with previous tools. So like no one
Right.
does French cleats on it with a circular saw, but hey, I don't have a table saw yet.
Well, you probably can though if you really
That's
try,
why.
if you really like wanted to. I mean, like literally, dude. Until now, I've been using a jigsaw because like that's
Jigsaws
when I
suck.
just
That's
had.
another thing
I
that's,
had
like,
that for
hard to
free.
use.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's literally all I had for free, and I like made like a little like super shitty jig out of like pallet wood that I had gotten from like my work, and so I ended up building like the shittiest like little jig for the jigsaw, and it worked, dude. Like I was very surprised to like cut straight lines like across this wood and stuff. I mean, it took a lot of sanding because that's all I
Yeah,
had was
gonna
like
say,
hand sanding.
How do you keep it from being jagged?
Yeah, I just had a hand sander. I did borrow a belt sander at one point from someone, but
Nice.
I mean that was like a fucking lifesaver at the end.
They should have like they should have wood shops that with open hours where you could just pay a fee to go there and like use all the machines. They should open up like the
should.
high school wood shops.
Yeah, you're right.
Just like charge people to like
Dude, I'm actually glad that literally the very last year of high school I like took wood shop class as an elective just because I didn't want to do anything else, and I knew it was going to be like an easy A. It was just like taking art class, which I also did actually last year of high school. Like one semester I took wood shop, the other semester I took art class, and literally just like I rocked the shit out of both. And of course, the first day in woodshop class, they're like, listen, like you're gonna have like some free time or whatever here to like do your own project and like use some like wood. Like, do not, whatever you do not make weapons. And literally, the first thing I made was a small dagger.
I mean anything can be a weapon. Yeah, I mean
Well, yeah, but like I like made like a straight up dagger and shit. I don't even remember where it's at right now, but yeah,
if you have,
I didn't sharpen the edges though. That's the only thing I didn't
Oh.
do. It was literally just still like a stick, but I made the point and stuff.
I was just gonna say when you have access to like a nice reciprocating belt sander, like you can make something incredibly sharp.
Oh yeah, I mean like I could still finish that little wood dagger. It was still just like one massive piece. Like I literally like made the handle nice, and then like coming out of it was like you know those like Ninja Turtles that have like the little spikes coming out? It's almost like a little
Oh,
fork like that.
Um,
I don't know,
what the tri-tie.
Donatello, whatever it is. It's not a shuriken. It's like something
It's
else.
a
Japanese.
sai.
It's probably Japanese. Who knows? All those weapons.
It is. It's a sai. S-A-I.
Okay.
S-A-I-S. Sai.
Yeah, so anyway, it has like the little dagger has like that form to it, but then like it's just like a pretty long blade after that. I just need to
Cool.
finish it up. Dude, I'm very happy that I like checked that out though, because that was like a big introduction into like what, I mean, basically foreign meat today, you know, in a way, because dude, we went to like part of that class, we went on a field trip to like almost like a trade show for like wood stuff being sold, like purely wood crafted
Antiques?
stuff. It
Like
was
new
like
stuff or
it was
old
brand
stuff?
new stuff that like people
Oh, people
nowadays,
just they craft stuff
yeah, just like
just
artists,
for like that would be a commission, but they just make it for themselves and
dude,
then they
yeah.
sell it.
And the guys are just like, yo, like this took me, I don't know, whatever it was, like 81 hours to make. So like
That's
I
crazy that
pay,
people do time their
yeah.
projects. Like
Well,
they spend
they're
2,000
paying
hours
themselves
making
though. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Because they're like, yeah, like I paid myself like $41 an hour, you know, whatever, like, and this is how much this piece costs because of that.
Dude, I would try to find the person who's worth the most and then make a big deal out of it.
Dude, it was insane.
This guy makes $200 an hour.
Yeah, right.
Stuff.
Dude, like their pieces were very high quality though. Like there was like,
Oh, I bet. Someone
was,
that
like-
does it for like that has the love and passion and
yeah,
that it's a yeah.
there was a lot of
I can
like
see that.
abstract furniture and shit. That was like one weird like wave piece. It almost like didn't even look like it would support itself, but it was like really solid, like well made wood structure. It was interesting, for sure. It definitely
Cool.
opened my eyes to the craft way more.
That's nice.
Yeah, man. So I'm excited to try all the little like knickknacks and shit that I have now, like the mini lathe and whatever else. Oh, I was about to say, dude, thank you very much for telling me about the French cleat stuff, because I didn't even fucking know what the fuck that was, and I was like, I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but I'll just look it up. And then I looked it
Yeah,
up, and I was like,
it's so simple, but
it's sick, man.
it's so versatile.
And actually, speaking of which, I was looking up how to. So I'm working on like designing the recording studio for myself, and it's basically I was looking for like sound dampening systems and stuff, and it looks like there was a dude that was like making these massive like sound dampening panels that actually use the French cleat system to mount it to his ceiling, to his garage ceiling.
Huh?
So
How would
basically
that-
he put like a board like that, and like he chiseled off the edges like that.
Oh,
and
so it
then,
slides in?
yeah. So it's
So
like
it's
on
like,
the panel, he had like a French cleat on this side and a French cleat on this side, and like the panel just like slides over that board
So
perfectly.
it's almost like a huge dovetail.
Yep.
It's just like that's
Dude,
kind of
it worked really well actually. Yeah. It was pretty sick.
I guess if you want to like take them down or something.
Right. I mean, he just did that. I think it was just like very little material, and yeah, he was just doing it to like his garage ceiling. But it was
Okay,
like his
nice.
workshop. Well, maybe it wasn't in his garage. It was like a pretty big workshop. I actually need to send him to you. The dude reminded me a lot of you. He was like building a lot of shit. It was cool.
I try to build a lot of shit. I don't really I honestly I have more failed experiments than I have finished products. But that's
Yeah.
the name of the game, you know. You try, fail, try again. You know, you
Right.
gotta iteratively improve, build up skills.
I don't know, man. I feel like you've done a lot of shit.
I should pay myself, but instead of money, it's time spent watching YouTube tutorials.
To educating yourself.
Like the time, it's more instead of money made, it's just time wasted.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, I mean, that's part of being, educating yourself. Instead of paying for education, you should pay yourself for it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, yeah, I made this like shitty little like, I don't know, like car made of wood, but it took me like 18 hours of educating myself. So I'm gonna sell it for $1,002.
Nice. Dude, I'm looking up sound panels on Amazon, and it's actually, because I mean, it's just foam, right?
I
They're
need to send you these I need to
These
send you
aren't as
these
expensive
links
as I thought
to
they'd
be
be.
honest.
It's like $1 a square foot.
No, man, I would just make your own. I'm not joking about that. There's a dude on there that was actually talking about.
Bulk foam.
So there's two prime materials that I dug up on the internet. One is of all things upholstery sponge.
Okay.
That it's like 2 or 3 inch upholstery sponge they usually sell them in. So that's like very well for like absorbency. It does very well rather. And then the other thing is like insulation, which is rock wool, is really good for absorption. So the one dude that was doing the French cleats, he was doing the rock wool, and he made like these big, because the rock wool comes in like a giant ass package of like, I don't know, let's say like 12 2 by 4 feet panels that are like about 2 to 3 inches thick of like this rock wool. And so he made frames and inset that rock wool in there, and he just like covered it with cloth.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like any
Is that
cloth,
still
because
is
you
that
want
still
the
as
sound
effective as the
upholstery
the
sponge.
traditional, well,
Oh,
not the sponge, but like the traditional ridges?
so the ridges are actually not that great. There's another dude,
And there's a
like
couple
it's
different styles. There's
right,
the
and there's different like absorbencies and different thicknesses you can get. The super cheapest ones are like meh. Uh, there's actually another dude I've been following recently on YouTube also. He did like a test essentially of like super super nice like professional grade panels versus like the shitty like 50 for like $40 from like Amazon panels, or maybe it was like 30 for $40, whatever it was. But it was like those spiky ones, but they were like pretty thin versus like, and they did stuff. It wasn't like they were negligent. They actually did absorb the echo and stuff from the walls, but from the room. But at the same time, the bigger panels that are, the professional ones are obviously much better. But generally speaking, just as long as the sound can pass through the cloth and like into the absorbent panel, as long as like the panel is not like so rigid that it actually like bounces the sound wave back like from the surface of it, as long as it actually passes through and actually like absorbs inside and then like starts bouncing back and reabsorbs basically, like that'll like be the deadening of the sound wave, right there.
Oh, okay. It kind of
Basically like,
captures it inside.
yeah, it like captures it right away instead of it just like bouncing around or going places. So I'm very much going that route, I think. And I'm just like trying to figure out which shape I want. And I think I'm probably going to use like a variety of panels, probably a few self-made panels, like the bigger ones, and then a few like of those spiky ones just to like fuck with them and just for like design purposes, because they still do look nice. There is an aesthetically pleasing notion to them, so it's like it's nice to have still.
Yeah.
I have a
That's
lot of I have a lot of designs that I've actually started working on recently with that, like
Yeah.
for like a backdrop.
I just need to take the time, like, and get momentum. That's what I'm having a hard time with. It's like, oh, I have an hour, I have a free hour today. What's the best use of this hour? And I don't get very far. Whereas, like, if I took a few days off of work, I could get so much more done.
Are you talking about in terms of like designing something, or
I mean, I
like
guess I'm talking about
getting
in terms
balls
of
deep
anything,
into like a
but yeah, balls
project?
deep into design.
Yeah.
Like, because that's now that if I'm choosing to customize and build my own desk, it's like, well, I might as well build out the whole office because I have to choose a style. Like, if I'm going to do it, once I have everything built out, everyone's going to be like, "Oh, you built all this? Well, why didn't you design it to all go with each other?" Um,
I think
and
that's it. I think you're literally the only person that's gonna think of that, but you're probably not wrong in the end. But at the
well, and
end
if
of the
it's going to
day,
be like my forever office, and I have all the time in the world to like plan it, um,
right. I mean,
yeah. And
at
then
the end of
there's
the
also
day,
some projects that I'm not there yet, like putting in a door. I literally don't have.
yeah.
There's not a door right here, and so we're talking about the French cleats, and this made me because they're French doors when they're side by side and they don't have a divider,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the hardest type of door to put in.
Is that what you
So
want?
yeah, to close off the office,
Okay.
so I could like keep the dog in here, or if like I'm working from home, or like yeah, I want doors to the office.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I don't think I need to justify it. I just
You're right, right. Another thing I was looking into is like pretty much what I'm going to turn into a studio. I've got like a really thin door. It's I guess a hollow core door.
yeah.
So it's like not very
Is that a
there's
pocket
not
door,
too
or is
mass.
it?
It is a
Is it
pocket door
swinging?
actually too.
So then, yeah, you can't really do much with that unless you take it out and build another one. But
Well,
since it's already built,
so something I was thinking about is like maybe putting a few layers of like moving blankets in front of it, so it kind of
okay.
like has that dampeningness, and also has like a like almost do like a layer, like one layer and then like another layer by the door, so you could like kind of like go in between them.
Oh, okay, like a curtain.
Yeah, so it's just like hanging, from the top. Um, so I don't know. I was thinking about that. So it'd have like a little bit of overlap, plus it would have the deadening of like sound like that. But yeah, what I was looking into though is like if you are building a door from scratch, make sure it's like a solid core door, or just like have it have like a lot of mass to it, so it's like nice and thick, so it doesn't reverberate as much, you know.
I mean, will
Especially if you're doing like a lot of sound stuff in your office, like have it have good sealants, or like just think of
see,
a way
but
to
yeah,
keep the
because it's
sound
so
from
close
coming
to the
out.
front door, I'm just gonna go for looks. I can't
Got it.
really make that. I don't think I'll have the same looking two doors and have one be of like much nicer quality and thick and solid, and one, not be. Because I have just an idea of what it's going to look like in my head, and I'm going to choose the first one that looks like that.
For sure. Nice. I
But
mean,
yeah, I see what
you
you're
can
saying.
always
Like,
mitigate.
that's good to.
Yeah, I mean, you could always mitigate, like gaps between the door with like sealants and stuff. They have like soundproofing caulk. They have like all sorts of like sealants, like additional like rubber grommet type like sealants and stuff that you like can put along like the liners along the door and stuff. There's a lot of things you could do really.
Yeah.
I've been like doing a lot of research on it.
Oh, I was just looking up. So my next thought was like, oh, well, what if I don't put in French doors because I don't have the experience? What if I contract that out? And
Hmm.
my first thought was like, that Feltco like commercial. I don't want to plug them because I don't know them, but like for quality window siding and doors. But they only do exterior
I
doors.
like how you know the jingle too, like right off the top of your
That's my
head.
first thought.
That's
Oh,
hilarious.
what if I looked that up? But they only do like garage doors and storm doors, and so never mind.
Storm doors.
Honestly, it's probably gonna be so prohibitively expensive. It's
You
gonna
should
be
get
like
storm doors,
$1,000 just
dude.
for the labor.
Yeah, dude, I'm sure. I mean, like labor's not cheap, especially for stuff like
It's
that.
probably more than that then.
Like no labor is cheap, man, when you're calling in specialists. Put it that way.
Yeah, but a specialist will do it right.
I mean, or you can just put in another 18 hours of video watching or
They actually say like the cost to install French doors starts at about 400.
Jesus Christ.
So that's not no, but that's less than what. Because if you think like if I were to do this myself,
That's
it's
for
gonna
labor?
take me. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, not including the door. Oh,
I mean, honestly, it doesn't even surprise me.
yeah, that's labor.
And I'm sure they're going to be in and out in like half
But
hour.
it's no, it's gonna take an afternoon at least.
I don't know
But
about
for me,
that.
it would take me, multiple weekends.
Right.
So, that's
I mean,
not
that is a
bad.
trade-off, for sure.
Oh, I'm looking at like a breakdown cost. Yeah, like $1,200, 12 to 15 to $2,000, somewhere in that price range. Like to have it just said and done. It's kind of attractive.
Yeah, I get it. I
Look
don't
at
know,
us
I'm always...
privileged white people just like
Wow.
talking about like, oh, should I do it myself or should I
Why
have this
does
contracted out?
why bringing race into this, bro?
I don't know. Yeah, I shouldn't have. We're like men too. I guess we could talk about. We could get like real controversial. Like, is the inherent
Oh my
like
God.
patriarchy in us? Like that's why we're talking about this.
I
Because
don't know why you're looping me into this, bro.
is that gonna force us to want to do it ourselves? Like, do you feel the need to?
I just like doing stuff myself because it's like, it's A, you're learning a skill, and also B, you're proud of what you're doing at the end.
I mean, would
You
you,
have something to show for it.
theoretically, would you think about removing that pocket door and putting in a solid core insulated, something nice, like doing that whole disassembly and then reassembly yourself?
Honestly, I kind of like the pocket door.
Well, you like the pot, but I'm
I would
saying
probably
like,
just
you need
add to it.
redo the project.
If
Like,
I
that's something that would
if I
interest
were
you?
to, yeah, dude, I would do it. Well, the other thing is, that being said, the wall is also hollow because that door has to fit inside. So it's like more. The wall also has a flaw in it. If you really go that deep into it, and then I have to like rebuild a goddamn wall, rebuild the door, like redo a lot of shit.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot more than I care to involve myself in. I'd rather like dampen the shit out of the inside of that thing, and then like just mitigate and diffuse sound all over that bitch.
You should just drill a hole through the side of it, and then put spray foam, and fill it with insulate with. It's
I don't think that adds too much mass to like that, because that's what dampens the most
well, it's on
sound.
a track, anyways, right?
Right.
I don't know.
I get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
that's a little far fetched. I would also probably pay like the $400 of labor I would otherwise pay in fucking construction foam
Yeah.
just to fucking fill that shit up. But
Yeah. I wish there was like a specialty construction store near me. Literally within a mile there is a Home Depot and a Lowe's and a Menards and an Ace, but there's no like good place for raw materials.
that's good, man, because sometimes they actually don't carry the same shit.
No, like I go to all three of them, and Menards has the best like already surfaced wood, but
Mhm.
it's still like it's not as good. It's kind of sucks.
Yeah. Well, last time I bought
Big
my
box
wood from
stores.
Menards, I had just bought like that Aspen or whatever. Because I mean, that's the only, because I didn't have a planer or anything. I had as you
Right,
know, like
S4S wood
yeah,
is
dude.
the best.
Yeah, and I of course paid up the ass to have it like nicer quality. Whatever. I don't know. I mean, I think it's worth it if you don't have the tools, but and you just need to get a project done anyway. But I mean, it was definitely a give and take. Who was I talking to recently? They were saying that basically like even when you buy, I think I was actually talking to you. Like even when you buy wood from the store, like and you need to like dry it out because it like holds are like still so much water.
Yeah,
Didn't
you
you?
don't have to dry it out, but depending on what you're doing with it, you should.
Yeah. Didn't you have that wood that you like put up?
Yeah, and that was just basic 2x6s, so they shrunk a lot.
And you said you put them directly adjacent to each other,
They started out when
like
I installed
flat,
it,
flush against each other
they
like
were
that.
flush together, and now
Wow,
there's over an eighth of an inch between them.
that's insane. And that's just from dehydrating.
Well, I guess I don't. So when it's cold out, they're supposed to be as small as they can be. So yes, they must have really.
Interesting.
Yeah, because in the summer it's humid and there's more moisture in it, and they expand. Or no, they.
Yeah, they would expand if there's more moisture in the air.
Oh, so maybe that's what happened is they contracted. Or no, wait. Why did they contract more? So I put them up in the winter, and then they contracted more in the winter. So what I probably should have done
I don't know.
is maybe I bought it and then I put it up right away. I should have let them get cold and shrink and then put it up.
Or maybe they
I don't know.
did what I've been suspecting this whole time, and maybe they plump up wood, like wood they sell with, like they hydrate the shit out of wood they sell, so they like make it as big as possible, and then they sell it for that size that it is at the
They
time.
don't sell that. It doesn't cost. You don't.
Just like they plump up like
They
tomatoes and
sell
all
it
the other
for
shit.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think just big box stores are, you get what you get. It's not like the best quality. You pretty much like you get wood from there, so you can do framing and like behind the scenes projects. Nothing like have to put a lot of work in it to finish it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, man. I don't know. Wood projects are fun though. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan of
it's
that
a cool
shit.
medium.
I'm glad that I'm ambitious enough to do that shit, because then, yeah, like I don't know, like it's a good feeling to like see the final product, even if it like sucks a little bit and you like wish you'd done something different. You know that next project you do is gonna be that much better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So
Cool.
yeah, so at the moment I have a plan of doing like a part of my wall, have like wood boards on it for like
Uh,
just decoration. Um, just like a little like V, like this, but they're all gonna like meet in the center,
oh, like a chevron?
and I
That's
have
cool.
yeah like have like a panel of like chevroned like multicolored wood. I think that'd be cool. And then yeah, I also have to build a goddamn desk, and then a workbench. And it's like,
Yeah, that's fun. Workbench will be most fun because you built something super heavy duty.
well, I feel like I need to do that first so I can make the other shit on it. But at the same time, like I kind of
Yeah.
want it to be the other way around, just because I would like the other things prior to the workbench, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like the other things are a little
You're
more
probably gonna
important
end
to
up
me.
building the workbench first.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Because honestly, I've literally almost designed to the T, or like at least designed one version of like, you know, a studio desk of what I want. I mean, I can always design another version of it, but I went pretty deep. Like you're saying that like you don't have like sometimes you just don't have the time, or like you just don't find the time to do it.
It's more of like I don't have the time. I don't have the time to build up the momentum needed to get a lot done when I want it.
Yeah,
When I want it done, like I'd love to, because every project takes a little bit longer than you expect, and so I
right.
can't just put like an hour towards something at a time. I have to do like the whole evening because I don't know how long something will take, and usually because there's so much experimenting, you have to like make a little bit of progress on something and then do a lot of experimenting on the next half.
Yeah.
Like when I made keyholes for this hanging project, I did like 10 or so keyholes, as just like practice.
Yeah? Why that many?
Because I had to try out like different techniques of clamping the guide for the router, and like
Oh,
I
okay.
need to figure out whether I could plunge cut or not. And I figured out I couldn't do that. So then the next thing was like, oh, I had to drill the hole, and then the hole had to be big enough to fit the keyhole so that I could move it forward. And it was just a lot of trial and error. I don't think
Got it.
I think there's just you can't even in a video you can't tell someone everything about how to do something. There's just some things like you have to figure out for yourself. And that's
Right.
cool. That's the fun of it.
Yeah,
I like
definitely.
just messing around. When I retire, I'm literally just gonna putz around in the workshop building stuff because it is kind of fun.
Good, man. Well, I hope you retire early in that regard.
Thanks.
That'd be cool to get into earlier rather than later while you're still full of ideas instead of like being old and cranky and like saying fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool if I wasn't full of ideas because I had done that
It would be
before,
cool.
like now.
Right.
Like by the time I get there, I want to be like, oh, I only have a few more ideas left, and they're like the super big ones that I haven't. Like I'm a build a boat.
You want to?
No, I'm just like,
Oh,
what
okay.
because you do everything else. What's like the biggest? By that time, I'll have all the tools, and all I've already done all the experimenting,
Right.
and now it's like, okay, now what do I want?
Yeah. No, legit. I
It's like at the end
understand.
of the World of Warcraft episode of South Park where they win, and then they're like, okay, now we can play the game.
Right. Fucking ridiculous.
Once you've done everything.
Yeah. No, I totally get you. But that's why it's like cool to like do it now and like whenever you have a moment. Um, I don't know, like I totally can relate though to what you were saying about just like not having the momentum or whatever. Like I do randomly have these like weird spurts where I'm like I don't feel like playing video games. I don't want to like do this or that, and I like randomly just like pick up. I'm just like either watching TV or something. Maybe I just get too drunk or whatever, and I just like start like just grab a notebook and I'm just like drawing something. I'm like, yeah, I have an idea for this, and literally 4 hours goes by and I'm still drawing, and it's like fucking 1 a.m. and I'm like, what the fuck just happened, dude? That was a time warp. And dude, like
Yeah.
that's been happening actually quite a lot recently. Um, but it's a good thing, you know. It's like yeah, I feel just like you, where I'm like, oh, I don't have momentum to like start designing something, but then literally the next moment I have like every fucking intricate detail marked out. I'm like, what the fuck just happened to my night? But then
Yep.
I'm
And
like, yeah.
I
So shit
there's
does
things
happen.
that I can think of in my head. I'm pretty good at visualizing, but it's translating those things to paper takes me a little while.
Yeah.
Um, like, and I can see like what things would go well together or the functionality of something I can visualize, but it's like when actually creating the notes or the drawing up the specs
Right.
that takes a little time.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's all about just like doing it, honestly. It seems weird at first, especially like when I started first, I was just like, oh, like I feel like I don't know, doing work shit, because that's what I do. I do like construction drawings and shit at work. So I'm like literally adding little notes of like what the material is made of and whatever else, and I just like feel silly doing it, but it's like I'm not going to fucking remember this shit next time I look at this, you know?
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
like you
Yeah. You
almost
gotta
have to remind yourself.
Yeah. Totally.
But it usually does take a few like versions of what you're doing to like get it really marked out to like what you actually want it to, what you've actually conceptualized in your head, kind of thing. So I
Mhm.
don't know, man. My advice would just be like, if you have a good idea, just start writing or like drawing or whatever. Even if it doesn't look like what you want it to in the moment, and you're like, this literally looks like a load of crap, and I'm like
Right.
wasting my
You have to
time.
capture the inspiration because
Right.
it's fleeting.
It
And
is.
there's
So
been a lot of ideas
very
that I've
true.
just let go because I thought like, oh, this is a great idea, and this is so great that I'll probably remember it. And the next
Right.
day, and you're just like, damn it, I had the key to life, and I should have written it down.
Yeah. No, it's true, man. It's true in a lot of regards. Um, it's not just like little, like, it's not like woodwork ideas or stuff like that. It's everything. It's like, I don't know, like ideas of jokes, like story ideas, cool things you could do with your family. I don't know, like, anything, man. Like backyard projects, office things you could do.
I have a whole thing of notes for a book I eventually want to write,
Fuck yeah.
and it's a lot of it is like stuff that I haven't entirely hashed out yet, but they're like think of like chapter titles
Mm-hmm.
where it's just enough for me to go off of and explore, but is one of those in those moments of inspiration. I'm just like, oh, I gotta write down like everything that I can think of right now.
Hell yeah, dude. You do.
And then I
That's
also have a
that's
to-do
it.
list on the homepage of my phone. That's for like
Nice.
day-to-day stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I jot shit down all the time now. Like
I
in sorry, go ahead.
Well, in last year I thought that I needed to write it down, and I bought this like really nice weekly agenda, and it didn't work. I didn't write stuff down. I'm too addicted to my phone now that I just needed the right app, and I downloaded the right app, and now it's in the format I like.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, the most common one I think is like Google Keep, something like that. Where like even when you transfer phones or whatever, it's still just tied to your like email or something.
Yeah, I think I'm using Google Keep, and then I'm using it's just called Tasks. It's
Okay.
from Google.
Yeah. I mean, as long
Really,
as
they
it's
all do the
something
same
that,
thing.
yeah, right. And it's nice that like all that shit just backs up to your email and then you
Yeah,
literally
that I
just
think that's why I got it.
get a new device and it's already on there. Like you don't lose any data. You also don't need to like transfer shit through your like SIM card or some shit or SD
Yeah,
card.
as long as you protect that account. That's what I'm the most nervous
Right.
of. If like something happens with my Google account, I make every once a year I back up all of my Google stuff.
Nice. That's
They
good to
make it
do.
pretty easy to do like a download. It's a lot of files. It's like
You
you
should
can
you
choose
should
how big.
tokenize your tokenize your data. Is that a
Yeah.
thing? You can
I don't
NFT
think it works in the context you're using it in, but yeah.
I know like nothing of like tokenization and shit like that. Well, I do in regard of like I get you can like tokenize something like sell it.
I
And it's
mean,
like
there are already like
but
if you get like a concert ticket, like that's kind of a tokenized, it's a tokenized version of the ticket,
right.
but like it's just you print it off or you get like a confirmation code.
Yeah, like a
So
digital
it's not like
copy.
that new, but
Right. The moment
there's a
shit went
lot of
digital,
hype right now in the tokenization sphere. People think like there's this new technology and we're using it for something different, but it's been, it's there's just so much hype. There's a lot of hype and I guess that's with any tech bubble, but now it's hitting blockchain and it's a crazy new world. I've been like obsessed over a lot of different new technologies, a lot of like world future decentralized technologies.
yeah. I
Because
think
I think people are tired of the whole system.
right.
Like we've talked about like stocks and retail investors are taking over hedge funds and
Well, there's just a lot of
blockchains and all
fucking
that.
data being sold without people's consent nowadays.
Right.
It's
So
fucked up. I mean,
the
people
best
gave
thing
their
we can do is
consent.
take that power away from
Right. People
the
gave
big.
their consent within the fucking billions of characters of like agreement forms that they're signing that no one ever reads, but like,
Yeah.
it's just BS.
It is, yeah. And I think like every new technology, you know, at first like it has to be hosted by like um what's like a good example? I guess like money is a good example. Like before, like you had to have your bank issue you money, but now we can
Right.
have our own money. We can have our own form of currency, and the government can never seize our account.
Yeah, bro.
Or
Speaking of having our
that's
own
super cool.
currency, didn't you create one recently?
I created my own token as kind of like an experiment, just to see like how easy it was. It's actually very easy to create your own
Yeah, didn't
token
you
on
take?
a network that allows you to convert it and transfer it for a ton of other tokens. You
Yeah.
know, and they're not all just like fake tokens. Like
So
the
out of
market
curiosity,
includes token like stable coins as well. Think of like the US dollar is on the same market as the token that I just created.
right?
It's kind of
But
it's nerdy as shit. We went from like
so
woodworking to like the most
I
nerdy
know
subject, but
that's not a bad thing.
I wanted to just play around with the technology, and it's actually like super easy to do. There's
Yeah.
no real utility for it yet. I haven't like created a website or like a real use case. There's a couple of there's like video games that are having in-game currency that are being tokenized, and there are use cases for, you know, personal tokens, but for
Hmm.
mine I just did it just to see if I could do it.
Yeah. So
Cool.
like, so totally changing gears. Yeah, from woodworking. But well, other thing I was gonna ask you, last thing about woodworking to pull it back around was, are you ever gonna make a wooden token to represent the digital token that you have?
That would be cool. I don't have a maybe I'll if I could come over to your place and use the lathe to make perfect. I'd have to find a way to make perfect circles. I don't have the. I guess I could do like a compass and then I could cut it out and then sand it.
Are you trying to make like an actual like coin shape, or are you trying to make like some other shape?
It'd have to be right if
No,
it's gonna
bro.
be a
Could be
coin. You
anything.
know,
Could be like
I
a
get. Then it's
cube.
just like
Could be like an effigy
an
shape.
amulet.
I don't know. Could be
I
like a
don't know. Yeah,
person
that'd be
looking thing,
interesting.
humanoid token. Could be like
Um,
a cylinder. Well, I guess that's a coin.
it would end up just being like a trophy or something if I put it on like a pedestal.
Maybe. It doesn't
I
even
don't
have
know.
to be stackable, bro. It could be just like super like
Yeah.
weird shaped.
Well, and if it's a non-fungible token, then there'll only be one of it.
All right, so can you explain what the fuck a non-fungible token is?
Do you want
I'm
the
like such
do you
an
want the what the
so
hype is, or do you
yeah.
want what the reality
So
is?
I want both if you got it.
I got both.
All right.
I'll start with the hype.
Okay.
So blockchains, right, are this network that has immutable transactions on it. You post a transaction and people can see the history, but no one can change it.
Yeah.
So someone had the brilliant idea of creating a token. You know, we talked about tokenization, which is like
Mhm.
taking something physical and like creating a digital representation of that. Well,
Okay.
someone had this brilliant idea of like, what if I only made one of those, and what if I put the authenticity of that token and I baked that into the transaction, so then I could sell this token, and it doesn't even need to be one, but you could have like these tokens that you could sell to people, and they themselves they could prove to anyone else who cares that they got it from you. So the authenticity of that token is like that's what they claim to be special. They're like,
Like uniqueness of
yeah,
that
and it's
transaction.
cool for crypto art because you're basically getting a digital version of the artist's signature, and you can
Interesting.
prove that it's real, that this is the actual thing the artist sold to you,
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the hype is coming from, because you got these famous artists that are like, yeah, this is me. Like, I put this out, and I'm selling you. You're not getting the artwork. I'm not. That's what that we're going to transition into. The reality of this is
Okay.
they're not selling the art on the block. They're not putting the art on the blockchain. They're not selling the art. They're selling a digital signature of the art to people, and people are like, oh my god, this is so cool. I
Oh,
I want
weird.
this digital signature. And what they're doing in the online is an artist is like, here's a picture of the art, and here's the digital token that represents this picture,
Mm-hmm.
and anyone can see the picture, and they can see that you own the digital signature that refers to this picture. Here you go, and you can have it. And they've created these cool websites where, like, you buy it using Bitcoin or Ethereum or Stellar, and then you can then resell it. And they found a way to give the artist like a kickback from the sale. So
Like
like every time
royalties,
it gets
essentially.
sold, yeah.
Interesting.
So they're trying to like legitimize it.
Yeah.
Um, Now I'm gonna get into the reality of the situation, which is there's nothing special about NFTs. Fungibility. So the idea of fungibility is like using um, being able to take a token and take a copy of that token and using that in place of the original. That's what fungibility is. But anything can be fungible or not fungible. If I go to your house and I'm like, hey, give me a banana, and then you're like, hey man, I have green bananas and I have yellow bananas and I have brown bananas, which one do you want? And I'm like, oh, I don't care, give me any of them. Well, then that banana is fungible because you can give me any banana. But if I was like, hey man, I only want a Chiquita banana with this serial number on it,
Mm-hmm.
then that becomes non-fungible. And if you don't get me that Chiquita banana sticker, if the banana you give me,
Has
even
different
if you don't,
serial code.
if it doesn't have that sticker, then it
Mm-hmm.
becomes non-fungible. So USD technically is non-fungible because the government could be like let's say someone robs a bank and they steal a stack of these dollar bills and there's like a range of serial numbers. Well, the government could be like, we're going to blacklist all those serial numbers. So now those robbers, they give out their stolen cash to people. Those dollars are non-fungible. You can't use them anywhere.
Got
So people online, the hype, it's kind of misplaced because they're not really that special. It's literally just a digital signature from the artist, and that artist can create as many digital signatures as they want. It's literally infinite. They get to dictate how many they create. So it's not really, is it really special if they can just recreate it? It's not like, it's not individual.
So is it
Um,
like the uniqueness that makes it non-fungible, or is
it's
it?
not the uniqueness. It's how unique the next person views it. So it is the uniqueness, but the uniqueness isn't measurable. It's just it's subjective
So
because
literally
it's
any
like,
dollar is non-fungible, though.
yeah,
So, but
exactly.
like, but you're saying it loses its. So that example with the dollar bills is like a little confusing to me because it's like they lost their worth because they're worth nothing if they're blacklisted, right? But you're saying they're non-fungible because to someone
maybe
else,
maybe the dollar isn't a good example.
yeah.
It's kind of like it's like if Beanie Babies, if they were to create one Beanie Baby of something they've never done before. Let's say
Okay.
they do like a Pikachu Beanie Baby,
Okay.
and it's special, and they only create one of them.
Right.
Well, they start the price, they can start the bid, and they can auction it off. It could be Beanie Babies, it could be like an antique chair, it could be literally anything
So
that only one exists,
yeah.
and it's literally just like anything else. There's nothing like new about it. You just get the artist's sign off, the artist's authenticity. So it's just as valuable. It's only as valuable as it is to the next person who buys it.
So do you even have to sell the physical asset
Well,
itself, or
that's
can
what's
you
so.
just sell?
That's why this train is taken off, because you can instantly buy it and sell it. It's like it's yours, and you can anonymously buy and sell it. And that's where I think that this is kind of like a scam, because an artist, someone who's someone who has a rich circle of friends, they can launder money using NFTs and crypto art because they can put their art up for auction. Let's say there's an artist who have $1 million. Let's say they rob the bank, they have $1 million of stolen money, and they need to legitimize it. Well, they can take that, they can create a token, any token, then they can buy that, they can create a sell offer for $1 million, and then they can take their $1 million of stolen money, and then they can buy that token, and it's anonymous, so they can be like, oh, someone bought my token, they gave me $1 million, that's $1 million of legal income because someone bought this token from me, even though it's not. So in that respect, there's a lot of shady operations. And especially if you got multiple people that are buying and selling artwork from each other, the value, they're attracting hype to it by essentially wash trade. It's called wash trading, where you trade for something with like kind of like your own money, so that it looks as if there's a lot of transaction volume, but really, you're just buying and selling it with yourself.
Interesting.
So there's a lot. It's wild.
Can you sell the physical? Like, let's say I've got a painting, right, that I draw. It's like huge, and like let's say the painting behind me of this tree, right? Like let's say I made that, which I didn't. But like hypothetically, let's say I'm like, oh, like here's a picture of this. I'm gonna sell it, whatever, on Reddit. So I sell it on Reddit with my digital signature to someone.
Now you're actually selling the painting, or
so
you're just selling
I'm selling
the
it.
token
I'm selling the NFT,
Okay.
a non-fungible token of the painting.
Okay.
And I'm like, yo, like someone buy this non-fungible token. It's the only painting I've ever made. This is the only token going out. Whatever. It sounds unique. It's fancy. And then, what if, like, so I can just sell that non-fungible token and then go to an art studio and then just sell this painting for, physical painting for something.
I mean, and people know this.
I could still do that.
They're not buying the token thinking that they're getting the art either. Like,
Interesting.
in all of the NFTs I've seen, like, you don't get the copyright to the art. You don't get anything.
Do you even get the
artist's
physical
signature.
thing? Okay.
That's why it's even more of a scam. It's like you get a preview of what the art is, and it's like the owner, like having a stake in it. I don't get how people.
So does non-fungible mean like non-physical, or it's just like?
It just means that you can't duplicate.
It's non-common.
Like you can't duplicate it.
Okay, interesting.
That's really what it means. You can't exchange it for a like value because it's so unique. But is it unique if the artist can issue more? You could create an NFT of that painting today and sell it, and then tomorrow create another NFT of the same painting. Yeah, they'll have two unique.
However, maybe I didn't do it at the same time, so that painting's NFT is worth potentially more or less based on like how old it is, how old that NFT of the painting is.
I technically made Teddy Penny an NFT because when I issued...
Oh shit, Teddy Penny. That's the coin you made.
Yeah, I
did
multiple issuings of it, and in the memo field, I put NFT on one of them. So if I decide to like... In the future, if I decide to like give it out to people, one person on their in their transaction history, it's going to say NFT on it. And even though it's not like a super unique serial number, if I never put NFT in the memo of any of the other coins, that's like just as special as any of this.
Right.
So,
are you ever able to like create more Teddy Pennies if you wanted to?
The issuer account by default, like when you start it starts out off as unlocked, so I can issue as many as I want until I lock the issuer account. You put in and most people,
I know you created a video on it too.
They're not going to buy your token. They're
making butt coin.
Be like, lock the issuer account so that you can't just flood the market.
Got it. Yeah.
There's also Stellar. Shout out to Stellar. They also created the option. You can set an option to like recall token if you want, and it's all transparent. You're
Interesting.
not gonna trick anyone, like sell them a token then take it back. Most people, like, they're not gonna buy a token from you unless they get to have it forever, and it's uh
What if you sell a
it's theirs.
digital? What if you sell an NFT of that token,
I don't know, man.
and
I
then
don't
it's
know.
not
It's,
it's not
it's
even like a digital token. It's like a digital signature of the token.
Yeah. I think
That
the
sounds very
technology stuff
slippery,
is
honestly.
super cool because
Sounds like a
for
fucking
as
slippery
shady as
slope.
NFTs are, you could sell that real picture as a token and have it be truly connected to it.
We have to
There's legally
tokenize it.
binding contracts which says you could literally sell the ownership. It doesn't have to be just the artist signature. I'm making fun of NFTs because that's what they're doing,
Yeah.
but if you wanted to sell that copyright and like that ownership of that particular painting, you could do that. They're doing it with gold. They have gold bars and they're like, we don't want to ship these gold bars to people. We want to sell them, but we don't want to physically transport them. So they legally sell the IOUs to the gold, in the form of gold, tokenized gold.
Wow.
It's really cool. It's like a really cool concept. Eventually, all of our money, I think it's something like 8% of the US dollar is physical. And so the
Yeah.
rest of it, 92%, is in a computer, not in a computer, but like, digitally signed by a computer.
Mhm.
And, eventually that'll be 100%. We'll just be cash apping each other money,
Oh yeah, man. I mean, it's already getting there to begin with. Like,
or hopefully using the Lobster wallet and sending Stellar back and forth, Lumens back and forth.
yeah.
Who
So,
knows?
so out of curiosity, you made a token.
Mm.
You made your own currency. So is that
I wouldn't call it a currency.
so is
There might be
that
some legal things around that word, but
Got
yeah,
it.
it's my own token.
so is it a version of Stellar?
It's its own token, but because it's on the Stellar network, it gets
Is it worth a Stellar?
traded.
Or
Yes.
like worth the same
So-
as Stellar? It'll always fluctuate with Stellar.
I set the price for it, so it's mine. You can create a sell off. You don't have to sell. You don't have to sell it, and then it doesn't have any value. But
Right,
I created a sell offer. So for the first, I think I put up 1,000. So there's an opportunity for 1,000. You can buy up to 1,000 Teddy pennies. This is like someone in the future who watches this. They're probably all going to be gone. But if they're not, you can buy. And I set the price at a certain amount of lumens each.
Yeah.
So the sell offer that I created does fluctuate because I based it off of Stellar. But you don't have to do it. You could base it off of the dollar. You could base it off of a different token.
Interesting.
You can choose the price, whatever price you want, in any denomination, in any currency. That's what's cool about Stellar is there's like all the different tokens, including Bitcoin, can be transacted on the Stellar network. It sends in 5 seconds. It like not close. It confirms with it's in your wallet within 5 seconds. It's super
Got it.
fast. It's super cheap, and
Right.
it uses lumens as kind of like Ethereum has gas to transmit to sell. The fee to trade is point. You can do 10,000 transactions for 1 lumen, so it's 0.00001 lumens is the trading fee.
Uh-huh.
So it's incredibly cheap. The
Interesting.
only reason they have a fee at all is to so that you don't spam the network, which I think is pretty smart.
Got it. I mean, you could still spam, can't you?
Yeah, but it's gonna
Just
you know,
cost you.
there are people they did a stress test on the network and they Stellar succeeded. They were able to handle everything.
Yeah. I have a feeling that like all that shit's gonna kind of come more and more prominent, just like Bitcoin. Dude, it's absolutely fucking crazy how nutso Bitcoin's gotten in terms of just like value
And there's an argument that it's the value of the dollar is going down. Like
Yeah.
with these stimulus checks and the money supply, they're printing tons and tons of the US dollar that people are like afraid that it's gonna collapse or something bad's gonna happen, and they're hedging their dollar with Bitcoin.
Yeah. They're gonna
What do
have
you think
to.
about that? Of like people not trusting, the strongest currency in the world. USD is like the best currency to have,
I,
and people like are not trusting
I
it right
don't
now.
know if it is anymore, dude. I think it's been kind of like getting wild. Like, and it's not even like just starting to get like wonky. It's like it's been there for a while. I think there's a lot of people like doubting it for decades already. Like a lot of people have been like investing in like gold and all this other shit for a long time, because they have the fear of that exact, thing happening where
Yeah,
it's gonna like just deplete in value and like you know, all their life earnings or whatever is just gonna go down the drain.
I think inflation is more than 2% a year. So if your savings account doesn't make 2% interest, or if your wages, like your salary or whatever your yearly wages, if those don't go up by 2% every year, then you're losing money. Um you're losing money.
Yeah, it's possible.
It's sad. No, that's
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 what
the
it's
truth
at.
of it.
Okay.
That value is inflating.
Yeah.
So you need to keep making more and more.
Right. Yeah, man, I don't doubt it. I eventually just want to, you know, trade wooden teddy pennies.
Dude,
Tokens.
that'd be sick if I could create something out of thin air that had value. That'd be really dope.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to create out of thin air. You could use material to do it. Just like the
Yeah, it's even
dollar is like,
cooler though having something like on a network
yeah,
that you could just have in your wallet on your phone and be like, "Hey, you want some of this? Here you go. Let me send it to you."
yeah, some of those, bitch. Yeah,
Um, yeah, there's like part of me wants to just put all my money into crypto
yeah,
because it is the future. There's a lot of utility, and right now there's a lot of hype behind it. So
yeah, man. I mean, I think that's legit hype. I don't think it's misplaced, to be honest.
yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of benefits to it. Especially like I think it's either Stellar. I think it's Stellar, where it's just like super duper easy to transport and like transmit cross country, and soon it's gonna be fucking interplanetary, dude.
yeah.
It's not a
That's the name
fucking
of the game
joke,
is like
you know.
ease. Bitcoin is not understood by like a lot of people, and so when you make like an app that's user friendly, that's how everything's going to need to go.
Right. Well, that's the thing, man. Like, if we're progressing how we are currently, and legit having like legitimate like human force of like ingenuity and like manufacturing and whatever, like going toward the direction of going interplanetary, which we are all as we speak. Like there's multiple firms, that are very high end on the market, like doing that and like
Yeah.
building rockets. Fucking Amazon and all that shit. Like all
I
those
mean, we
people
just
are
need
building
more
rockets now.
we just need more coders. We need more IT specialists. We need more STEM kids. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We
Right.
need just more people interested in the field because like the raw talent is literally going to be the bottleneck of of the future. Um, Coding talent, and then also having platforms that agree with each other and the interoperability of different platforms.
Yeah.
back when they did the moon landing, there was a big debate because they had companies on the Imperial system in the U.S. and then companies on metric overseas, and they had to like agree together. And when you have parts that have different sizes, and then you have different tools to work on those different parts,
Dude,
you can
that's
only
so
bring one of
fucking
those tools
stupid.
up to space.
Yeah, dude, that's literally the dumbest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah, we should just all be on metric. That's the right.
I mean,
Unit.
it literally makes sense, like not chronologically, but like, you know what I mean, like
Decimal wise.
exactly, like decimal wise. That's literally the only thing that makes sense. Everything else is just like fucking random.
Yeah.
Like I get there's some sort of system to it,
There was some
but
justification back then.
but people
it's
just wanted to be like fucking
not as
different and
useful,
like shove their opinion in other people's throats, and that's what happened. And then the world
yeah, something
split.
takes off. Well, that's the thing. Like people think with Bitcoin, because they were first. It was first, and so there's $1 trillion in the market right now.
Right.
That it's good. It's gonna last, even if it's not the best of the best, like the best technology out there. It's gonna be around for the long haul.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a limited amount of them too, and people are. It's a
Scarcest
literal gold
resource on the
rush.
planet.
What's
Yeah.
that? Sorry.
Scarcest resource on the planet.
Yeah.
Interplanet in the universe. It's the scarcest resource.
Yeah. Right. It's fucking crazy, man.
Did you bring up interplanetary? Because I asked you to look up IPFS.
No, but
Okay. That's what the
that.
IP stands for, interplanetary.
Yeah, I actually looked it up just before I hopped on here because I didn't have fucking time to check it out. But
That's
uh,
fine, whatever.
but I did like very surfacely take a look into it. But yeah.
So like,
But
I'll
that's
go-
where we're going, man. It is interplanetary, and like if we don't have a fucking way to exchange currency and a quick way to do it, like, dude,
and
stellar.
censorship-resistant way to do it too.
Sorry,
It's another-
what's that?
And a censorship-resistant way, something that governments can't control. That's the
man.
important piece.
Dude,
like in
yeah,
order
like-
for us countries to, people in different countries to transact and agree upon something, we can't let governments get in the way.
I mean, it's not only governments, but it's just like anyone who's like trying to like lock something down. Like, I feel like everything is going in a decentralized like direction in terms of privacy and like cyber security and all that shit. That is the pinnacle, you know?
Yeah.
Is like everything being decentralized, like
Yeah. Everyone's
especially
responsible for their own
information.
shit.
Like if there was informational decentralization, dude, like instead of it being like what is it, a singularity where like there's no privacy, that's like obviously the opposite, you know? Like
Yeah.
decentralization, that's, I mean, a lot of people are actually talking about that, and I was looking up I was actually checking out some like products that are like there's like decentralized like VPNs and shit right now, like that are coming
Yeah.
out. It's interesting, man.
Cool. Well, that's why I wanted you to look up. I told you to look up IPFS because it stands for Interplanetary File System,
Yeah.
and it's a decentralized way to download and upload files to people.
Nice.
Their
So
whole
it's like a
goal is,
Dropbox.
think of if Dropbox, but there was only one file, one copy of the file being moved around. So the way that like Google works
Oh,
is
it's
they
like
have
limited. So it's an NFT.
it's like an NFT that you share with whoever you're sending the file to.
Yeah.
So like Google, they have they try to get you the content as fast as they can. So
Yeah.
they have a copy of every YouTube video like in their local data center. So when you pull up a YouTube video, you get it from their local data center rather than their data center across the world. They could
Right.
send it to you from there, but they have these two copies of it. Whereas with IPFS, it's peer to peer. So if, let's say I have my video, I take one of my vlogs.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than hosting it on YouTube, I can send it to you, and then let's say you want to send it to like someone else. Well, depending on who they're closest to, it'll either host from you or from me or a combination of us.
Yeah.
And in that way, there's only one file, but we all share it. And the
So
more
it's kinda like
people that
torrents,
share
dude.
it, the faster it is. The
Right,
faster
right.
and more congruent like the downloading is.
Isn't that how torrents and shit work?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like uTorrent is basically that.
Yes, but this is interplanetary. They found a way to make it like super global, and
Nice.
they found a way to another big feature is like with torrents you don't really know what the source is.
Yeah.
IPFS found a way to authenticate every file so you know that it's legit.
Okay. That's
They built
that's
that
good, man.
kind of NFT authenticity into
That's good
it.
because that
by-
adds security.
Yeah, exactly.
It adds like a cert. So it's basically certified in a
Right.
regard.
Right. You the source is certified, so every file has a CID. I don't know what it stands for.
So
I
if you
just kind of
get,
learned
so
about
if
it
you like
myself.
get a virus, you can tie it back to someone, some asshole.
Yeah, well, yeah, and viruses would get flagged right away. So if and you would know. So that what's cool is you can track the file through all the nodes. So
Interesting.
if any nodes have a problem with it, they immediately alert the entire network.
Okay.
And that's what makes it really cool.
Interesting. So it's like a blockchain sort
It's not a
of.
blockchain. No, it has nothing to do with a blockchain.
Okay, so it's like a
not,
network.
It's just a network. It's just a means of sending files to people, in like the most efficient way possible.
Got it.
So we should
That's cool.
you should download it and we should test it out sometime.
For sure. Yeah, I'll take a look into it for sure. I mean, it sounds interesting. I'm always down to check out new shit.
It's got a cool animation of like all the nodes in the world,
Yeah.
and yeah, you can. It's new technology is super fascinating to me, especially anything that involves infrastructure,
Mm-hmm.
like the architecture of the internet.
Yeah.
Like the whole point of Stellar is to move money like email. Email you don't need a government, or you can send the email. It's just a protocol. Like it's a base level protocol. So like Stellar is trying to be the money that moving money like email. As long as you have an internet connection, you can send digital wealth.
Interesting. You should. That's how it should be. But it also, there should be some sort of security to it because not every internet connection is secure.
Well, when you say security, so there's cryptographic security baked into it.
Well, yeah. Okay. I see what you mean.
And there are private coins and then there are public coins. So like Bitcoin is very public. You can look up every transaction on the blockchain.
Yeah.
And something like Monero is very private, where you can't look up anything. There is no public ledger to look over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
What's Teddy Penny? Is it
Teddy
open?
Penny.
Is it public?
Can you, if you post this as a video, can you put my issuing address in the description so other people can check it out?
I don't know what that is. What's an issuing address?
It's So remember
It's where you can get
when I
it.
said about
where you can be
authenticity and
issued
knowing the
it?
person who, because someone else could create a Teddy Penny,
Okay.
but the issuing address tells them that it's my Teddy Penny.
Got it. Is that like an email address or equivalent?
It's just the
like a
the
web.
Stellar address, so they can look up the asset on the network and see how many there are, and they can look me up, and
For sure.
that's all the information they'd need to know. It's just the asset code, Teddy Penny, and then the issuing address.
Okay. Let's make it big, bro.
Yeah, let's do it.
Teddy Penny.
You should do. I realized like your coin should just be logs. Like each of your coins should be logs, and then you drop them on people.
That sounds
You get a log. You get a log.
That sounds a bit like
What if
conceited.
the log was handcrafted into a woodworking? And I'll tie this all in. What if you paint it? You like had a handcraft. It's like a wooden dog sitting on a log, and you like woodworked this whole
Dog on a log.
and that was your coin that you dropped to people.
A dog on a log.
Yeah, and then you made an NFT of it and you sold it for millions.
Sounds complicated, but I'm down.
Cool.
I don't know if I want to get into the crypto business of having my own coin. I'll just advocate for the Teddy Penny.
Okay.
I'll be a Teddy Penny ambassador.
Tell your friends.
Are you hiring ambassadors?
No, but I'll give you some to give away.
Nice. Well, maybe
So
we can
you
give it
have
away.
the Lobster wallet yet?
No, I
Do you have
still need
any,
to
like,
learn what
crypto
that
wallet?
is. No, I don't.
Okay. Well, we'll
Have
get
to
you
check
set
it
up.
out. All
We'll
right.
get you set up, and I'll put some of it on there.
Fuck yeah. We'll have a giveaway. A Teddy Penny.
Sweet. Tune in for our event.
Fuck yeah. Dude, I cannot wait to, as I said earlier, I was building out a little, like, studio of sorts. I can't fucking wait to, A, have that done, and B, actually be able to host some fucking podcasts from there.
Yeah, you want to do an in-person podcast? That'd be
Fuck
fun.
yeah.
Yeah, that'll be great. We can use like better cameras rather than just our shitty webcams.
Yeah.
Mine's been like the focus has been going in and out. I
I
can't
know.
really control
That's
that.
funny.
Whatever.
It
I
is
also
what
just
it
noticed
is.
I've been like tapping my leg, and that changes. That's been like shaking it. So it's gonna be fun. For you to
Yeah,
watch.
it's funny because I'm actually tapping my leg and I see your camera shaking and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm
My
creating
camera.
seismic waves here.
It's funny.
Yeah. But cool, man.
Cool, dude. Well, this was fun.
Yeah, man. We should do more of this shit.
Yeah, dude.
It's a good time. Always is.
Awesome.
All right, man. Until next time, thanks for stopping by, brother.
Absolutely. You take it easy, bro.
Yeah, man. You as well. Later.
Later.
Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that. If you would like to see more of the Gypsypotamus experience, please check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Gypsypotamus. If you enjoyed the Gypsypotamus experience, I also have side projects JivStream and Dropping a Morning Log with Jivco. Check those out. Until next time, take it easy.